We have reached the Final Four in the Women's Euros. Can England continue the path to victory and get all the way to the final and bring it home? We're going to talk more about that coming up on this week's episode of Point of View. Hello, everybody, and welcome to your favorite Sunday sports stream. It's Point of View. I am Bobby Munson, and I'm sat here with these two amazing gentlemen right over to the left of my screen, at least anyway. He is Mr. Andre 2/3 C. How are you doing today, Andre?
I'm doing great. Came in today. I got some, it's been a good weekend. Got tomorrow off. So, well, it's a good day, and I'm looking forward to listening to you guys talk to the footy that I'm still learning about.
Still learning, but hey, you got to, if you haven't already, you could check out last week's episode where we talked all about the different rules, the way the leagues break down, everything like that. Probably our most watched, most viewed, and most liked episode of Point of View to date so far. So thank you, everybody, for making that popular. Before we go over to the other gentleman on the screen, it's Astrid joining us. Hello, Astrid. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on Point of View. And over there, waving politely like the Queen always did, it is Mark. Mark, how are you doing this morning?
I am in a very good mood. I've had a very good week. I passed my driving test Monday, so I'm now, thank you very much, very fully fledged driver. Finally, I drove yesterday into London. I took my mum back to our old stomping ground. We had a look around, took the kids there. The English and the British and Irish Lions beat the Aussies, beat that in the rugby. England pulled off an absolutely remarkable victory against India in the cricket. And we're going to be talking about it very, very soon as well. The Lionesses, the England Lionesses. How do I put this politely? Did very well to get through. Well done. Very well done for getting through.
You want to talk about fighting back. Fighting back.
Oh.
That's what they did.
Fighting back and then completely forgetting their legs worked. I think that is probably the right way to describe what happened at the end of that, but we'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, it's been a good week. Bobby, what have you been up to? You've been all right?
Yeah, been good. Again, we went visiting family yesterday, had a great time. Nieces and nephews are always a blast. They always re-energize me, even if they do make you a little tired, because they got way more energy than I ever will at this old age. But yeah, it's been a fantastic week. Nothing to complain about. Sports have been good. United could have done better, but you know what? It's the first time out in the field with preseason yesterday. Some pluses that we can take from it, and some things, a lot of things we still need to work on. But yes, good day to Basser joining us up in the house. It's also a good weekend, speaking of Basser, because we are now only 5 days away from the big weekend of Prairie Pro Wrestling action coming at you here in Saskatoon. We have got 2 nights. We got 3 events for you. For event number 1 happens on Friday night, July the 25th at Beer Wars here in Saskatoon. Your tickets are available by calling Dave. Get his number from the Beer Wars website. You'll be able to get your tickets to Prairie Pro Wrestling's event that night. And then what we're going to do, we're going to strip that ring down. We're going to pack her up. The next day, we're bringing it out to Cairns Field here in Saskatoon, the baseball field where the Saskatoon Berries play. We are doing a 1-hour opening show before the Berries baseball game that afternoon. That's from 4:30 to 5:30. So if you're a baseball fan and a pro wrestling fan, make sure to check that game out. Then what we're doing, we're going to strip down that ring one more time, and we're going to pack it all up, and we're driving it back that same very night over to the Beer Wars event again, and we're doing a second Beer Wars event on Saturday, July the 26th as well, too. Yes, Oh my God, stripping. Yes, that is what you walked into there, Peggy. What kind of show is this? This is the very different version of Point of View this weekend. No. We're talking about stripping down a wrestling ring and getting it backed up and taking it on over to the next event because we've got those.
I can take my shirt off. I can take my shirt off if you want.
Please do. Please do. We need the views. Go, do it. We need to see that hunk of meat.
Just because they said you could have tasteful nudity on Twitch doesn't mean YouTube allows the same. So we're going to leave it at that. And no shirtless Andre on the show here today.
Mark. Oh, dang.
Would somebody please think of the children? Yes, exactly. Think of the children.
There's no children watching me. This isn't for children. The show isn't for children.
That's right. Yes, it's not for children, but that's okay. Oh, great. Now we've done it. Now it's F-bombs been dropped already this weekend. Even if we had monetization, it'd be right out the window with that one single word.
Can we have, before we get into and talking of tasteful, I just thought of a topic that we could start off with. Is Alexander Usyk the greatest heavyweight of all time? He's now 8-0. Against British wrestlers, fucking twat. It's because you were talking about wrestling. Against British fighters, he's 8-0 now. Beaten, I think, every legitimate heavyweight there is. Is Alexander Usyk the greatest of all time? I'm going to wait for my opinion to last, but I want to hear both of your opinions before we go into it.
I think
the reason why we're having a discussion, the reason why is because last night he defeated Dubois. He's become the third time in his history winning every single undisputed world heavyweight champion. So anyway, carry on. Sorry, Bobby.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's like I think he holds a very impressive run, and I think that there's an argument to be made down the road potentially. I think until he gets down that road far enough is when the conversation can be had, because again, there has been a lot of great heavyweights over time. And a lot of people, I bet you could sit here with a lot of people and they could make arguments for others as well too. I'm not discounting what you're saying at all. Again, it's a very, very impressive, and he's definitely in that conversation. Let's put it that way. He's already in that conversation, and when he decides to wind it all up, that might be a talking point of potentially going the path you're saying of the greatest. So we definitely will see it. I'm keeping it open-ended for now myself. But Andre.
Never watched him fight. I only recently started watching boxing. Never seen him fight, but I look at his record, 25-0 at this point, beaten Tyson Fury twice, beaten Anthony. Yeah, he's beat the best. Like he's beat the biggest names you've heard in the past bunch of years. So I'm going to say yes. Could he have beaten Mike Tyson in his prime? I don't know.
Yes.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
I'm going to say this now. I think Alexander Usyk will go down, and I think he is now.
Even Muhammad Ali said he would have lost to Tyson. That's the greatest fighter.
That's because Muhammad Ali had Parkinson's. He couldn't fight him then.
No, but if he said
I'm joking before you go any further.
I know.
Yeah,
but Ali said in interviews that he would have lost Tyson even in his prime.
Ali was a smarter fighter. Ali was a smarter fighter than Tyson. Tyson was very, very young, aggressive, and he had hands like cement posts. That's what Tyson's advantage was. But what Evander Holyfield figured out, when you're intelligent enough, keep Tyson at bay. If you can keep the distance with Tyson, that's how people beat Tyson, because he becomes frustrated. He would always come in. It's those body shots coming in close. And as those body shots are hitting you and the hands start to drop because you're like, damn it, I'm being punched in the gut by Mike Tyson. Then all of a sudden you have your chin revealed, and Tyson would come in with that close uppercut and knock a person out. He was notorious for it every time, but the fighters that picked up on it were able to get around Mike Tyson. So making that, like Ali, I know Ali, the humble man that he is going to sit there and say, I don't think I could have beaten Mike Tyson if we were in our prime. But Ali is also the guy who, instead of training to beat George Foreman, trained to outlast George Foreman. That was the way he approached it. Be able to take the punches that Foreman brought to the table and tire Foreman out. And it was effective and it worked. It wasn't the prettiest thing to watch, because in no way was Ali the better fighter in terms of throwing the punches, landing the punches. Foreman killed him, but Ali outlasted him. And that's the thing. It's, and yeah, to the credit of what we're talking about here too, is like there's arguments that can be made for a lot of these guys that we're mentioning, but at the end of the day, we've got, a young man here who's continuously taken, top of the ladder and really making a name for himself. I think there's the argument to be made. If he's not the greatest, he's definitely in contention for right at the top with them.
Yeah. So Alexander Usyk has had 24 boxing professional fights. He's won 24, won 15. Before he was a professional, he was a gold medalist at the 2012 London Olympics, a gold medalist at the 2011 Baku World Championship. He was 2008 European champion in Liverpool, and he was also a gold medalist in a I can't even pronounce that as well, where he was in his recent fights. And let's go back a little bit further to 2018, where he defeated Tony Bellew, then defeated Derek Chisora, defeated Anthony Joshua back-to-back, then beat Anthony Dubois, beat Tyson Fury back-to-back, and then beat Anthony Dubois again, or Daniel Dubois, sorry, again. Personally, I think he would outbox the way he boxes. Everyone was saying Tyson Fury was the greatest of all time because he would have been able to move out of the way of Mike Tyson's punches or Muhammad Ali. No, Fury was just a fat, lazy slob who could just throw a few punches. I couldn't stand Fury. I was always an Anthony Joshua man. Anthony Joshua got found out. But at the same time, Alexander Usyk, to me, will go down because if you put in his brain, his brain alone, he would easily outbox Mike Tyson. He would I wouldn't say easily outbox Muhammad Ali because that would be a contest because they were just two gentlemen that would like to go around the ring, hitting the jabs, moving, sticking and moving. They weren't too looking for the power punches. I would put Alexander Usyk in the power punch category, but he has got it. So for me, I think Alexander Usyk, maybe only 24 fights. He was also the cruiserweight champion in boxing as well, then moved up a weight level as well to go to heavyweight because he was doing that type of thing. A bit like what David Haye tried to do in British boxing. He successfully did it, David Haye, for a little while and then just fell apart after that, but made a lot of money doing it. So fair play to him. But yeah, it was a topic of discussion. I saw it all over because of the fight that happened yesterday at Wembley Stadium with Alexander Usyk versus Daniel Dubois, and I thought it'd be a good way to see what you guys thought on that, knowing that we've got Crawford and Canelo coming September, which I think we've already said that we're going to review that on this channel when we're doing it. So I'm making sure I am awake. If I have work the next day, if you're watching this work, I may be booking that off as holiday. So I may be booking that one off. Just a heads up. But no, it was a topic of discussion. I thought it'd be nice to have a little bit of a chat about.
No, it was a great way to kick things off here today. And now I think we need to talk about the main subject of the day before we get to the other sports. We're going to talk about...
No, kidding.
Funny call. But we are going to be talking about the footy right now. We're talking about the women's Euros. We are down to the final four teams like Mark and I were talking about earlier. The England women could give a person a heart attack going back and forth like they did to get this far. But good God, we have got a powerhouse Final Four lineup here. On Tuesday, the England women play the Italian women in a game, and then on Wednesday we've got the German women versus the women from Spain to determine your final two that'll take place next Sunday. Good God, what a tournament they have had so far, and go England, but it is not going to be easy these next two games for England to bring this home.
No, not at all. If we look at the tournament so far, England have been... I think the tactical decisions from Savina Weigmann have been a little bit questionable. That need to be talked about. We need to be having the same discussions as we would for the men as we do for the women. I feel like some of the tactical choices, especially in the centre-back position against the French and against the who the fuck did we just play? Sweden. You've got Leah Williamson, who is very quick, very strong, Arsenal captain, one of the greatest defenders, I think, in the world. But then you've partnered her up with a centre-back that's slower than me, and that's saying something. They couldn't not keep up with the pace of Blacksinius, who plays for Sweden, the striker. Could not keep up with the pace, could not keep up with the strength that was happening. And we were just exposed. Alex Greenwood, who's a centre-back, come left back. She could play in both positions. As she was pressing forward, they were just slotting it in behind her. And it was just, there was tactical choices that were made that Savina Vigman needs to look at very thoroughly now going into the semi-finals. But the great change that she did, and also you've got to praise them when you should, great song, is a bit of a, who sung that?
Fatboy
Slim. That was, thank you, Fatboy Slim. Great song. I was listening to that in the car the other day. Absolutely epic. It repeats. Anyway, back to football. Sorry, I'm going on a Fatboy Slim rant. I was about to say, repeats so many times, but it's such a good song. But no, and then you look at some of the changes, bringing on Chloe Kelly. If you don't know who Chloe Kelly is the woman that scored the winning goal for England in the Euros 4 years ago. And she scored the winner, the iconic of her taking her top off, throwing it around, scoring that winner against the Germans when we beat them for the Euros last time. She come on and created 2 goals. And also I can't ever pronounce her name, the striker as well that scored the goal for England as well. She come on and helped Alicia Russo, who was getting pummeled up top. She was doing everything she could, but there was no one around. We need to be seeing more. And I'm calling some names out here because it has to be done. We need to be seeing more from Lauren James, the sister of Reece James, who plays for Chelsea. We need to be seeing more from Lauren Hemp, who did really well in extra time. But I need to see that driving force, what she can do in that team a lot more. There is so many good English players around at the moment. There are so many good. But then we were 2-0 down at halftime. And I was at work when this was on. I went for a toilet because I ate something that did not agree with my stomach. So I was gone a little while. And then when I got back, it was 2-2. And I went, what the fuck just happened? And then I had to, extra time started as I was locking up work. I had to drive home. I got in the door and I put the football on. It was still 2-2. And my wife, who's not a football fan, was like, right, I'll watch it with you. And so we were watching it together. And it come down to penalties. How do I put this really respectful? It was the worst penalty shootout I have ever seen in my entire existence of a human being. It was awful. From whoever, right? If you're Swedish, you sack your manager now. Whoever come over his brain to give that 5th penalty for you to win the penalty shootout to your goalkeeper, who then blasted it open thinking it was a goal kick, is an absolute plonker. If you're Sweden, you'll go, boo, dumbassery. Thought that was a good idea. And then I'm not going to call anyone out, but Lucy Bronze stepping up and smashing that home. And then they kicked it over and we win in. I was like immensely proud of the women, but also very disappointed. I messaged in the Discord that we have. We got a little group with the 4 of us. And when Ed decides he wants to turn up again, crying around that he lost the NFL predictions. That's why he's gone. So we have like a little group Discord, and I put in there, I'm going to quote exactly what I put in that because I found, while I was typing this, I found it fucking hilarious as I was writing it. Hold on, where is it? Here we go. Well done to England, but that was a horrible advert for the women's game. It really was. The worst set of penalties ever. Shit tactics in the first half from England. But hey, they're through to the semi-finals. And then I am generally, and this, by the way, I messaged this bit about 15 minutes, 20 minutes after I sent the picture of the score, and I went, I'm still generally pissed off at those penalties. And it's been, about 4 days? I'm still pissed off at those penalties. It was fucking awful. It was so bad.
See, but usually a keeper taking a penalty shot is reserved for when you have nobody else left to choose from. Because this really is no disrespect to keepers. They are taught to kick long and far. That is what they train themselves to do. So they are not your typical goal-scoring penalty takers. Again, every once in a while, you will have a keeper that is, came from playing outfield in some sort of way growing up, and they might be half-ass decent. They're still not your best option ever, kind of thing. So when you are in the initial 5 penalty kickers and you name a goalkeeper, you either have to be 100% certain that goalkeeper never misses, or else you must be on some pretty good dope, because that was a dope move and the reason why you didn't move on to the semifinals.
I generally like Sweden. If you look at the whole game in general, right? Sweden played nearly the perfect game. First half, peppered England, scored in the first, I think it was like minute. They got the goal from a corner kick. They then got a goal just before half time when we were just nowhere near it. But then they go into the second half and they're defending because they knew what was coming. They were defending really, really well. What I also want to say is fuck you to the fans that were racially or sexually abusing Jess Carter, the England player, who's now come away from social media because of the abuse that she got in that game. Right? I can say it was a shit penalty. Don't mean I'm going to go up to her and turn to her face because she's a footballer. They have bad games. It is what it is. But don't go online and abuse these players. This is not the 1960s. You don't do that. So hold on. There's an ice cream day.
Yeah, hold on. I did not know. Shh, hold on, Zach. Don't say it out loud. If my wife find out it's National Ice Cream Day, I'm gonna be eating ice cream, and it's a rather cold day here today. So,
can I be in Canada? It's fucking hot still over here. It's still too hot.
It's National Ice Cream Day. I think in America though, isn't it? No, it's in Canada too. It's in Canada too.
Well,
right. I'll get Mel to message Shauna and tell her it's National Ice Cream Day. I'll make sure Mel messages Shauna. Don't worry.
National Ice Cream Day every day.
We've gone from a penalty shootout in the women's Euros to National Ice Cream Day.
So
how can hold on? How could we ever top this?
That generally hurt me. That generally hurt me. You generally,
that wasn't even close to punny, dude. Come on.
Do you know what the thing was? He was so proud of that by telling everyone to shut up.
That was
and then I was expecting it to be half good, and then that come out, and I generally feel ill.
I think we just dropped all our viewership in that one comment. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Peggy and Zach are all gone.
Dig. Anyway, but if you look at the semi-final, we're going to have a conversation because it links into another topic that happened yesterday in the WNBA. But if we're going to get into that in a second, but I want to give a little bit of a praise here to not only did England find a way to win ugly, they found a way to win. So that is a general, but they now need to learn from their mistakes and take that against Italy, who they're going to be playing next. It is ironic that if England win and Spain win, the last World Cup final was between England and Spain, where all the controversy happened with Spain that we won't get into. But if you want to go and check it out, go and look online. It's very easy, accessible to what happened from there. But here's my thinking. I would be so proud of this English women's team if they won, right? The whole tournament. Back-to-back Euros. Absolutely superb. But also, I would be going, that Sweden game was a bit... I would generally feel bad for Sweden if we now went on and won the Euros because they had everything. And because of what happened, just hurts my soul. By the way, I can see Andre is still visibly hurt by that comment that Bobby said.
I'm not anymore.
All right, I'm going to ask Andre a question because I'm going to bring him into it.
All right.
If you're the Canadians, right? Let's turn this. We're going to switch over to the Canadians or the Habs, as they are called. If you want to go and give it to them, if they won a game. I know how I would feel if it was Reading, by the way. Shout out to Spurs slightly, because not only did they come to a preseason friendly at Reading yesterday, we made quite a lot of money from that. So thank you very much. But your thing. I know how I would react. But if you were watching the Habs and there was an opposition team, there is a word that we use in England, but I want to see if it's made over to America yet or Canada. And you were really pummeled, really destroyed, but then you win when you're probably not meant to. How would you feel?
Oh, goddamn relieved as fuck, man. Like, you're just like, we're getting destroyed, and I've seen it I've seen it in football, I've seen it in hockey. Teams are just getting just wrecked, and then just somehow make that miraculous comeback just to scratch out that win in overtime or in the shootout or something. You're just like, holy shit, that was amazing. And you're just like, and then it's your team, you're just relieved you just got that 1 point to take it. It's a huge relief.
In England, we have a name for that, where you're pent back and you just about win. I want to know if Bobby knows what that word is, because he should know this.
Okay, hold on. Run it by.
There is one word.
Yeah, I probably don't know it, to be honest.
All right.
Unless you say you watch, maybe I'll be kicking myself for this.
Okay. So in England, there is a phrase that we call shithousery.
Oh, okay.
Right. So shithousery means you are getting shit on, but somehow you still won. That is the saying we have over. It goes, Neil Warnock, right? If you ever want to see a manager, him and Jose Mourinho are the pinnacle of this, right? If you ever want to go see managers of what shithousery means, just go and look at what Neil Warnock used to do. That is a shithousery.
Yep. And then Mourinho, who is the type of guy who will send somebody out to injure a player right before a World Cup. So,
yeah, we had that. We also knocked two of his keepers out in one time when he come to Reading. We knocked out Kola Kunicini and Petr Cech in the same match, and somehow still fucking lost that match. Reading did. How the fuck did that happen?
Well, I watched this Jose Mourinho intentionally send somebody out to injure Wayne Rooney right before a World Cup, and then he sat standing there waving the Portuguese flag afterwards, kind of thing. Like, that's the kind of person he is. I can't stand Mourinho. In fact, I'll tell you what. Even though there was times where he was winning games as manager of Manchester United, I hated Manchester United at that point in time. I still watched because I have to, because that's my team. But man, did I hate having Mourinho as a manager. Yeah. I don't care if that guy would have never lost a match in charge. I hate him that much.
We had to pull up with Paul Ince for a while, and that was fucking horrendous. But yeah. Anyway, so this is a topic of conversation that has been happening, and it's to do with the Women's Euros and the WNBA. Before the Women's Euros happened, there was a campaign from a majority of footballers, women's footballers, that said equal pay for women. Last night in the WNBA, in the All-Star event, the women were wearing equal pay for women in the WNBA. So, this is a very, very tough conversation because you can be very honest, or you've got to be careful. Where I know how I feel as a father to a daughter, but I want to get both of your takes on this before I say anything. Andre, I'm going to go to you first. Your take on this situation.
Yeah, again, like, I'm all for everybody getting paid the same, but there are obvious differences in their leagues. Like, you look at WNBA versus NBA. The WNBA is funded by the NBA. It gets money from them to help keep the league running. It's a loss leader for the NBA. The WNBA isn't technically profitable, even while paying the ladies far less. And if you're of women making more, which I am, you got to go out and support the team. Now, I don't personally, because I live in Edmonton. We really don't have professional female sports leagues here. But if you live in cities that have these professional women's teams, go out and support those teams, because if you want them to be able to make more, you need to go and buy the tickets, go to the game, show these leagues that you're in support of it, and that's the biggest part of it is the fan base isn't showing up. So if the fan base isn't showing up, the leagues aren't going to pay more because there's not the money there to pay more. And saying that if there was more money to it, if they got more money, it wouldn't be that, because you need people in the stands. And then yes, if you're saying you got to get marketing out there too to get people in there. So that's a league investment, is marketing market it in the same way you market the men's leagues, things like that, because help draw more fans, and then the women make more money from that point forward if you're bringing more people in. And that's the biggest thing. And there's TV contracts where that's where a lot of players make a lot of money, and then I know the NHLPA, the Players Association gets a portion of the TV contracts, things like that. But the TV contracts don't exist like in the same numbers for the women as there is the men, because again, the numbers aren't drawing there. So if you want to see people make more money, you got to go out and support it. You have to watch it. You have to be there to support it if you want them to get more.
Yeah, and I'll agree with a lot of that too, because again, like Peggy's saying, the marketing makes a difference. There has to be money for the marketing, but the marketing is going to make a big difference. Availability of these sports being promoted on channels. Again, like you talk about the local market going to see, but watching on television when you can and stuff like that makes a big difference as well too. If you invest the time, then more people are going to invest commercial time, and commercial time brings the money that the leagues need in order to strive. Yes, I do agree that there should be equal pay in equal parts. Like, again, like for like, it's the same sport. So should there be equal pay? Yes, but there needs to be that push from somewhere to get them into the eyes, because we have seen it in certain aspects, right? Like we can relate to the way tennis wrestling has been handled at times. For example, first of all, wrestling suddenly there's that shift. And I'm not saying that women's wrestlers are being paid as equally as the men are at times. I'm not saying that, but we've seen that they can be the draw in order to have that argument of equal pay. And yes, they should be equal paid because they are making that draw. Women's boxing. We had an all-women's boxing card that sold out Madison Square Garden and was well-watched, well-received across Netflix. The argument that they should be paid equally with the men, 100%, because the draw is there. But what got to that draw was not only an interest from fans, but also a push, a movement, things to make it happen. And I'm saying the WNBA, women's footy, any of these other sports that are out there for women as well too. We want that to happen. Well, this is my plea. As sports fans, we need to push that movement forward. We need to say, we want this. We want to watch it. Put it on my TV. Put it on my streaming. Give me more of this. If we support it, then those opportunities happen. When those opportunities happen, the women will and should be paid equally as what the men are at those point in time too. But there's a mindset that needs to change across sporting fans, that we need to support all sport, not just particular sport.
So while you were talking, I agree with everything with both of what you said. I did a little bit of statistics, because I think that's probably the best thing to do as well, is always bring statistics to the table, so we're just not sounding one-sided. But if you look at the NBA at the moment, their annual revenue is roughly between $11 billion to $13 billion, and the players receive about 50% share of basketball related income, which is spread across all of the players in the league. With the WNBA, the annual revenue for that is $180 million to $200 million, and the players receive 9 to 9.3% as well. If we're going to look at all the other things as well, the magnitude of the gap, the NBA is getting 50 to 65 times more than the WNBA is as well. And if we're going to look as well, not just the WNBA, if we're going to look at soccer as Americans in football, if we look at the Premier League, the total revenue in the Premier League for the men's was £6.3 billion. That was in 2023-24 season, a record high of 4% increase in the private year. Commercial income in the Premier League was £2 billion, driven largely by the so-called Big Six. Broadcast revenue was around about £3.3 billion, and the matchday revenue calculated of the teams around that season was around £900 million. And if you sort of compare that to the WSL, the Women's Super League over here, which is the Premier League for the women over here. The average league revenue was £65 million, which is in 2023-24, which is up 34%. And the average per club revenue was around about £5.4 million. All 12 clubs in the league exceeded 1 million each. If we're going to look at the revenue as well, the revenue has gone up 53% in the WSL, with making it £26 million. The match day went up 73% with 12 million, and the broadcast rights went up 10 million, which is a 16% increase in that. So the women's game is going in the right direction. It's just not going a direction that you can say you can go, oh, I deserve this much more. You've got to look at how much the club is making. A club's not going to be making itself bankrupt because they want to pay players more. They always divvy it out. But if you look as well, I wanted to also point out the women's all boxing event that Bobby talked about, the Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano third round. The ticket sales for that, the gate, was £2.6 million, making it the highest gate ever for a women's boxing event. The total purse distributed for the main event was around $18 million, the highest of their trilogy. Reports suggest Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano earned approximately $8 million each, and the fight drew nearly 6 million global views on Netflix for that event as well. So
awesome.
I think if you do more of these events, and I think one of the things that, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, and I mean this as respectful as I can possibly put it, the women need to concentrate on making the market of their game differently than the men's. They need to market more to women. If more women turned up for women's events, it could overtake men's, because there are more women in this world than there are men. So if women supported women, then it would be good. But if men supported women as well, it could skyrocket it. So my daughter, who is starting to play football, we've gone to women's matches. We watch women's matches. But the criticism that she always goes to me as well is, it's too slow. I'm bored. I'm like, okay. But then when she goes to watch Reading and we watch it, it goes, it's fast, it's intense. It's all about perspective as well. I think the way that if we watch the women's matches recently is there's a lot of attack. There's not a lot of defense, which is good to a certain point. You also need a shithousery team, like England did the other day, like a counter-attacking team, a bit like what what's his name, Spurs used to do, or under Harry Redknapp, you used to have under other teams as well. Crystal Palace used to be excellent at it. Fulham, that's what Fulham made their name before it got ruined by the AEW lot. It's very much of you've got teams that can do it. You need a difference, and I also think the way that it is being treated as it's not matching the men's. Like today, the other day, I sent a message into the group. What's her name? I need to remember her name because I don't want to disrespect this.
Olivia Smith.
Thank you very much. Olivia Smith.
I pulled it up because I figured we were talking about it.
Yeah, she is the first woman ever to go for over £1 million, be sold over £1 million. Canadian striker, was at Liverpool, now going to Arsenal. And I want to say as well, and I'm gonna shit on them, but I'm gonna make it look better as well at the same time. WWE or TKO, mainly TKO, because of their stupid, horrendously made PLE bookings that they're doing at the moment. But there's one every other fortnight at this precise fucking moment. It's like, chill the fuck out. We want a break at some point. I want sleep on weekends.
Two weeks.
It's literally every 2 weeks. And then what I think Triple H has done right? You watch that Evolution show from top to bottom, phenomenal. Wasn't a bad match on that card. So many stories were told to the next level. The women did absolutely tremendously. Then what happens? Yep. You watch WWE this week, okay? There was one match on Raw that was a men's match. Rest of them were women's. There was one match, 2 matches, maybe 2. I'm going to go with 2 matches only on SmackDown that were men's. Rest of them were women. Now on NXT, this is a normal thing, right? A normal thing on NXT. Women is equal between women's and men's matches. There's equal storylines in doing that. Now I think that TKO have seen the draw that was of Evolution and gone, oh shit, we're behind the time. And I think the women's matches, not only did they live up to the performances, I'm going to call this now, and I do apologize. I'm going to piss a certain fan base off. I am very sorry for if I piss you off. But Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky is the match of the year. Not the match of that weekend for any company, match of the year. Those 2 women put absolutely everything in that. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky are 2 of the best performers, not saying male, not saying female, 2 of the best performers in the world. Now, I think WWE...
No argument here from that.
WWE and AEW had this problem as well, and I think they've picked it up because I haven't seen that many complaints online about it anymore. But their AEW had the problem with not putting many women matches on it. Mercedes Moné, who decides to book her and win her everything because she can. That was my little dig. I do mean that, but I'm not being that horrible. But when you've got this, I think the shifting pattern needs to happen at a certain point. And I think if you're Sky Sports, I'm going to talk to UK. I don't know about Canada where it's shown. But if you're Sky Sports over here in the UK, you have the Premier League. You're about to show the most amount of matches ever in Premier League history by doing over 200 matches live on Sky. What you also need to do, same thing for the women's game. Put that on the TV, or have a deal where you buy the rights to the women, but distribute it to the Freeview TV channels as well. Make sure more people watch women's sport. What the sport that turns up here in the UK is when there's no Premier League action on, they will be on Sky Sports. If there's football on, they're late at night on a Sunday. You cannot do that. It needs to be equal to a certain point. Pay will come. But the women have to support women. The men need to try and help that as well. But there needs to be more investment into this women's game to help them get more. And that isn't about governments. This isn't about whatever. Or anything. Yeah, okay. I can see I've started something here and I do apologize. That's not good. Because that reminds me of the dementia era in WWE. That can't happen, and that needs to be changed. It needs to be equal between men's and women's matches. It needs to be equal storyline. Sorry, Bobby, I know I'm going off on a rant.
It's okay. I was just going to say to wrap the topic up. I don't watch weekly shows for WWE or anything like that, but if they only had one women's match, that's a terrible follow-up. But on the plus side, with SummerSlam 2 weeks away,
they only had one men's match. Every other match was women's. They had
okay. Well, then good for them. Good for them. Good follow-up. Okay, I apologize. Yeah. And I was going to say, to their credit, we're 2 weeks away from SummerSlam. 8 matches announced. It's 50-50 right now. Yeah, it's 4 men's matches, 4 women's matches going into this thing so far. So
I think there's been a shift. And I mean this respectfully as I can. And we can shit on Triple H. He's the booker, right? And sometimes he gets it wrong, but he always has a long-term story in place. There's always a reason for it. But what I think he's done is he needs to get back his NXT mindset. Because in NXT, when he was booking it, it was always 50-50. And he's gone to the main roster, and I think he's panicked. And I'm going to be on it, and I will always look in positives in anything. So I think he's panicked, and he's gone, I need to make sure that the biggest draw that we've got is what draw WWE before. The Roman Reigns, the Seth Rollins, the Cody Rhodes, those type of things. John Cena, Goldberg. Oh, no, wait, he bitches and cries when he doesn't get his right way. So very much of that. But then Evolution happened, sold out arena. most views. I'm going to look in a minute how many views that they had in a minute on Netflix because I'll find it somewhere. But I just want to say, give women a chance. Nikki Bella, I wasn't a fan of. I was like, oh, Nikki Bella, for the love of God. Completely took me by surprise on Monday Night Raw when she faced Chelsea Green. There's lots of women's matches that need to be booked. And I'll also say this as well. This is still on women. Don't shit on Jelly Roll. It's a very good idea, and the publicity is working. But at the same time, do not shit on Jelly Roll. I love his music.
They were on late night.
He's actually really good. Really nice, man. Yeah.
They got mainstream press on that.
It's a good with Jimmy Kimmel.
Doing the spot. Like, Jimmy Kimmel wasn't there. Jelly Roll was guest hosting for Jimmy because he's off for the summer. And Jelly Roll put Logan Paul through the desk on the show. But, like, that's insane amount of, like, mainstream press you get. Yes, it's Jelly Roll and it's Logan Paul. But you're doing it on one of the most popular late night brands that still exists. Like, it's just shit you got to do. Like, that's how you sell this to the wider stream audience that doesn't watch wrestling. It's like, oh, Jelly Roll is involved in this. Oh, Logan Paul's doing this. Oh, maybe like people that know Logan Paul probably know he does wrestling, but like when you have Jelly Roll choke them and do through a desk, yeah, that's gonna get press, and there's gonna be people that don't regularly watch wrestling that are gonna come and watch that are gonna want to come see SummerSlam because of it.
Especially when you look over at Jelly Roll and go, man, he's half the man he used to be, but I don't mean that in a negative way.
Yeah. No.
He's looking good.
The man looks good. So good. But what I will also say is you can shit on Logan Paul, and please shit on Logan Paul. It's absolutely fine. But what I will say is what he's garnering for the wrestling business by the views he's getting people that don't watch wrestling into it should also be slightly appreciated. You don't have to like him. I'm not saying that you're going to have to kiss his ass. What I'm saying is there might be people going, oh, I watch WWE. Oh, there's another show called AEW. Let's check that out. Oh, there's a TNA. Let's go and check that out. Oh, there's a show in my area called Perry Pro Wrestling. I might go and have a look at that. Those type of things. There's a snowball effect. Go and watch Perry Pro Wrestling.
Who would ever go to a show called Prairie Pro Wrestling? Come on.
Only the best of the best. Only the best of the best.
Nobody with any self-respect would go to that.
Only the best of the best. That's why, Andre, if you ever want to be in that top tier of wrestling fan, you got to make your way over to watch the Perry Pro Wrestling show one of these days.
It's too far away.
Too far away. Oh, no. You were going to drive to Moose Jaw, my friend. Come on.
But anyway, you can't find the live figures for shows that happens on Netflix unless they release it. You can't. There's no other way of finding out. So Evolution or any of that lot, I have no clue. I just tried to chat GPT it, and it wouldn't let me tell me what was going on.
Well, they try to bury the lead because they don't want to embarrass the fact that more people watch that show than any other WWE show all year. Let's say we got 47 minutes into this thing or 48 minutes into this thing. I think there's a couple more topics we want to bring up here.
Absolutely.
Checking out my new local this weekend, Capital City Wrestling. Fantastic. Let me know if there's any of their stuff on YouTube. I'd like to check that out. But yes, gentlemen, I'm sure there's more sports to talk about. So let's move on. I'm sure there's an F1 update. I know Andre was salivating at the conversation of F1 at the top show. No, nothing.
No race again. Doesn't race till next weekend.
Oh, okay. Well,
hold on. Where are we next week?
Belgian Grand Prix.
Oh, Spa.
Yeah. Spa.
What is the weather going to be like for Spa?
Spa.
Hold on, ChatGPT. What's the weather going to be like for Spa F1 coming this weekend?
Spa.
ChatGPT, let me know. But no, if you don't know what Spa is in Belgium. It's one of the fastest and longest tracks in Formula One. It is one of the most high-pressured, especially up the hill. It's horrendous. There's no rain. It's boring. If there's rain in Spa, by the way, it is the funniest shit ever because no one can handle it. You've also still got the rumors of Max going to Mercedes. There's no talk. There's more talk of that. You've got more talk that Lewis is not happy with the Ferrari strategy, and there is an internal discussion that let's just put
Get
that some
rid of
people
Lewis.
need to butt their ideas
Get rid
up.
of Lewis.
Absolutely
Get
not.
rid of Lewis.
Absolutely not.
Get rid of Lewis.
Yeah, because that's a great idea. You haven't won a world championships in 2012. You have a 7-time world champion in your corner. And what do you do? Oh, yeah, let's get rid of the guy that knows how to build cars. Italians, I like you, but you're being dumb.
You don't get, but he's the second best guy on the team. So.
Are you dumb? Are you dumb?
Look at the point standing.
I don't need to.
He's the second best guy on the team.
I've seen world championships.
In 2025, Lewis is the second best guy on his team.
Oh wow. Who's got more world titles? Lewis. Who's been battling for the world title more? Lewis. Who actually have a decent car can actually beat Max Verstappen? Lewis. Who bottles it every time they go up against in first place? Charles. So
again, I'm just saying, in 2025, Lewis is not the best driver on his team.
Can you please reply to my reels that I sent you about Stroll? I sent you so many about Stroll that makes me laugh, and I never get a reply from you.
Yeah, because I don't like you making fun of my boy. He is the only Canadian in F1. I can't make fun of him. I don't care if he's now the worst player on the team.
All right, I'll make it easy for you.
He is my boy. He is my boy.
Okay. All right, then. If you can't do it with Canadian, I can do it with the English. Lando Norris needs to buck his ideas out. George Russell needs to grow a set of balls and make Mercedes make him sign a contract. You need Ollie Behrman to get that big fat neck of his to actually do something around the track instead of getting penalties and lying around. And Lewis, just get the Ferrari to work. There we go. Shat on the English. Now you can shat on the Canadians. You bald-headed, beautiful bastard of a man.
One thing you got to understand, Mark. Andre only responds to things 2/3 of the time.
And this is that 1/3 where I'm not responding. And Instagram is the 1/3 where I don't respond. Ask Mel. She sends me far more than you do, and I rarely respond.
I think me and Mel have a reel off at the moment of how many we send to each other. If she sends me 2, I send her 5. If she sends me 5, I make sure I send more back. We have a reel off at the moment that's getting a bit dangerous for life. I'm telling you.
Now, if we're on Facebook, I would send you.
Oh my God, you're old.
That's where I'm on most of the time.
Oh my God, you're old. How old are you? You're an old man. What is wrong with you? Yes,
I'm 37.
Over 60s do Facebook. What is wrong with you? I know you've got grey hair, but don't fall into the trap. Even though that is a very beautiful beard, but still. By the way, can we talk about the beautiful fantasy beards? Football prediction? Yeah, beautiful beards. I've got a little goatee going on here. Look at that, fucking beautiful. Anyway, actually, Bobby, you actually suit a beard, but you shave it. Sometimes there's a stubble that comes on. I go, oh, hello, Bobby, and then you get rid of it.
I had a beard. I had a beard a while back in before 2020, and then when they started implementing masks, I'm like, man, this thing itches too much, so I shaved it off.
That's true. You need to grow that beard back. You have a very beautiful face.
Bobby needs to look all fresh shaven for his office job. Now he's a president or something of his company or something like that. Now I think he's running this multi-million-dollar conglomerate now. So So
he ships here, there. He's shoving tariffs on things. He's going here, there, and everywhere. Bobby is absolutely annihilating everyone.
What do you want to do today, Bobby?
President Ogre President Ogre Lord.
Andre, let's build up Bobby even more so he looks like a real bad dictator at his job. Anyway, fantasy football. Let's talk about it. I got excited. The one that we're doing.
Football.
That one. The one that we're doing.
Okay. Handball.
Yeah, that's not until August 31st, man.
It's not. But I want. Do you know what the thing is? I got really excited in the chat the other day, and Andre and Bobby can piece this. I got really excited because I thought I had Munson the first game. I thought I had Munson, and I got really excited. I was like, I've got the first win of the season. I've got this. And then I looked at it and went, oh, fuck, I got Bobby Stats as the first game. No.
The stats fan's gonna hand you your first loss.
He's going to crush you.
The first thing is,
the stats man's winning the whole, gonna win the whole thing. We all know that.
I'm winning it. I'm going back to back. I either want predictions or I want fantasy. Are we doing punishments for the fantasy league? That's a question.
As far as I know, no. But
I don't know. It's because it's hard it's probably tough for everybody in there to participate in a way that equals it out. So I think we keep our predictions will have the punishments. That one will be just more for the bragging rights.
My question: when are we doing the Premier League predictions? Is that gonna be next weekend?
I thought it was the weekend.
Right after?
No, my league starts in 2 weeks. But
I'm still waiting for you to make a choice, Peggy.
Are you coming in or what?
Yeah, we need to know. We need the Empress.
Do you know what? I think,
if you're participating, Peggy, maybe you want to be on Point of View that morning.
Yeah. Also, I think for the Fantasy League, if you finish bottom, you have to donate a certain amount of money to charity. If you finish top, you get a reward. I think that, because then that's different.
Oh, so you're at the top. You are the charity. Okay.
Yes, you should pay the person who's top. Yes, I've all of a sudden become a charity. No. But no, I think that's what we should do. The person who finishes bottom. If anyone's in the chat or watching this, or if you watch this on repeat, please put in the comments, and we will talk about this next week as well, about the punishment and by what we're going to do. But
yeah, no STG or stats today.
No, weird. Stats was in at the beginning, but then he fucked off.
Stats wasn't here at the beginning, was he?
No, yeah, I think he was.
That
one. That one. I got mixed up. But yeah, so if we do that, I think whoever finishes top should get a reward of some type, and whoever finishes bottom should donate a certain amount.
Top picks the charity, bottom pays it.
Done. We'll do that.
Done.
Do that. Charity. I need to set up my own charity now, so I get paid. Because I'm winning this shit. I
can't wait for Mark to have to pay the charity I choose.
Yeah, and then my bank account goes, by the way, are you doing some cybercrime? Because Canada doesn't recognize what you're paying. I'm like, no, it's fine. There's no cybercrime.
As Canadians, we're not used to receiving funds from other countries. We're used to giving it out all the time. That's the problem.
Yeah.
But with that said, we are
donated to me for the ALS Foundation, and he almost got his account locked up for it.
Yeah.
Thought I was getting some hack of Bitcoin or something. I was like, I don't know what's going on. It's fine. It's absolutely fine.
All right. With that said, gentlemen, we are close to the top of the hour, so I'm going to move it on over to the tickers here. Andre, let the people know what do you got coming up, and where can the people find you?
You can find me on Mark Talks Mental Health this week. Where I'll be chatting with my boy here.
The week after. Week after. Bobby's next week.
I thought we were recording it this week.
We're recording today. We're recording this week.
Oh.
It doesn't air for another week and a half.
Well, never mind then. You can find me. Yeah, there's some other jamoke that's going to be on. This week,
good one, isn't it?
You can find me. So yeah, if not there, you can find me next week. We're back here on Point of View, where I'll be chatting with the boys, and then that same day, at some point during the day, myself, Oled, and Peggy will be here for Marvel Talk, talking Fantastic Four, which I am going to see this Thursday night. I am excited.
I need to book tickets for that.
Yep. As always, Thursday night movie watching means you can't join me on a Thursday. We'll get to what I've got going on this Thursday coming up here soon.
I don't have to show up on Thursday. Yes.
Yeah. But you might want to get your questions in. We'll talk about that in a moment. But in the meantime and in between time, Mark, what do you got coming up, and where can the people find you?
Yes, so Mark Talks Men's Health. Andre's not yet. Last Wednesday, I had my brother who come on. We were very open and honest conversation. This Wednesday, I have the Ogre Lord coming on, where I think that's the most open I've seen Bobby in a very long time. But then we also had a very, very deep discussion about his life, about how he goes through things, some statistics, and we come up with some goals because at the end of September, he's going to come back on and we're going to see how he's been getting on and stuff like that. On Mark Talks Football, it was the final of the Australian playoff that happened last night. See, I did my maths. That was last night, and we have a review show. I think it's today. I think it's the review show coming out today. I'm going to say it is, where Bobby will be coming. Me and Bobby have recorded a couple more review shows after this, by the way. That's how far ahead I am. So we are going to be doing that, so make sure you go and check that out. And tonight is the final of Bash in Berlin. It is the main event going into next week, where we will be having the Road to Heatwave, which will be holding up. And I will put a disclaimer. The DLC characters that are coming out Wednesday will not be coming out on the channel until Heatwave or after. So Heatwave, we already have picked the superstars behind closed doors where they will be going. We already know where certain ones are going to be heading. And Lauren Goodnight gets the feel of the land, shall we say. She gets anyone at the same time. So, yes, that will be coming out. And Bobby, what have you got coming up and where can the people find you?
Well, down below, that's my ticker. That's where you can find me. As for what I got coming up this week, of course, the big announcement is this Thursday, myself and Papa Spokes are going to be joined by our good friend Tristan Tai, aka Akira Kwan of MLW fame, is going to be joining us for a second interview. We had interviewed him a couple of years back while he was out in his first run with MLW. Sadly, that interview came out the same day that he was also given his release from MLW. Since then, he hit the indies again. He's been rocking it well, and he's back at MLW kicking ass and taking names, and he's going to be joining us this Thursday night. So if you're unable to join us in a live capacity to ask him questions on Thursday night, feel free to reach out to me and get those questions in, and we will ask him of Akira Kwan live on the show. Of course, I'm going to be back with these two gentlemen next Sunday for Point of View, talking about the week in sports. And as always, you can catch me every Saturday afternoon with Papa Smokes over on Prairie Pro Wrestling's YouTube channel, where we have a new match coming at you every single Saturday. We just had Marvelous Morris Waltz taking on White Shirt William Taylor in his debut for Prairie Pro Wrestling. That came out this last Saturday. And next Saturday, we got championship action for you next Saturday. It's Michael Allen, Richard Clark defending the PPW championship against All Night Levi Knight. Check that out over at the Prairie Pro Wrestling YouTube channel. And that's it for that. You can find all the great stuff on OLE Podcast right there down below. We are across all social media as well as YouTube and Twitch. Get those likes in on YouTube, thumbs up, all that wonderful stuff. Leave a comment if you're watching afterwards. Turn on the notification bell and hit that subscribe button. A good 75% of you viewing these shows are not subscribed to OLE. So what's holding you back? Give us a subscribe, get interactive, start talking to us. We do interact with our live audience as well as our viewing audience afterwards. So make sure you're doing all that. And as I say all this, what's coming up on OLE? I'll let you know as we leave you with this week's calendar. And we'll see you next Sunday. Take care, everybody.
Never gonna stop, never gonna change, never gonna do the things you say. I run my own way to get there. Fools are calling, but I don't seem to care. In the air, no more crowd, just the opposite kind of few clouds. So tell me this time is coming, for the sake of all your lies.